effect here, not the circular, but just the regular first kind of stretch effect. You're gonna download this guy pose, click on it. Anytime you open it, don't just right click and save image here. Even though it opened it up in a new tab, this isn't the full resolution. Go ahead and click on the picture, and there's the full resolution just to be sure, and save the image from there. And then drag and drop into Photoshop. First thing we're going to do is extend the background. So decide which way you're going to be doing your pull-out pixel stretch effect. I'm going to do it from this side because I can get his red hair a part of it there, and this yellow part of the sleeve of this other shirt as well. So do it, I recommend doing it the same way that I'm going to do it here. So Command negative, hold my space bar to kind of move the artboard to the left, get my crop tool, and just drag out a little bit more there, and then hit enter. All right, so first thing we're going to do is get a selection of him and remove him from the background, and then content aware fill the background. So let's go to duplicate copy, Command J. Let's go to select subject. There he is. So from here, we'll mask him out. Now we want the inverse of that, so I'm going to hit Command I. So there. Oh, sorry. It was correct. All right, so there's our guy. Now we're going to get a selection of him. So click here in the mask, Command select, click on it. Now come back down here to that first layer, and we are going to go to select, modify, and we're going to expand our selection 15 pixels. Go ahead and hide this layer so it doesn't get in our way visually at all. Now we're going to go to edit, content aware fill. We've done this before, and Photoshop does a pretty good job there. We'll hit OK. Command D. And we need to keep filling it across. And we can't do that with the content aware fill. It's not going to do so good. So now we need to take these two layers, right? Photoshop did it non-destructively, which is good, but we don't need to keep it non-destructive right here. It did what we wanted, and we need to continue. So select both of these layers, hold Shift, and click on the other layer. Right click. We're going to merge the layers. Now hit Command J twice. Create two new copies here. On this first one, just pull that over there, and then the second one, pull it over about right there as well. And we're going to merge all three of these together. So select them all, merge layers. Now we're going to use our healing brush tool, and we're going to fix some of this current layer. And it's fine to do this non-destructively. So just pick a portion, use your healing brush and not your clone stamp, and click. And if you hold your shift button and just click all the way down, and then click on a part of the bottom, kind of get rid of that. You can make your brush smaller. Click there. There we go. And then the same thing, kind of click in this area, kind of go over it. There. Get rid of these straight lines. Okay. And let's bring our guy back. And looks pretty good. You could mess with it a little bit more, you know, but it's good enough for what we are going to want to do for this video. So name this background, this one guy, and now let's start doing our pixel stretch effect. So we'll zoom in. I'm going to start with his hair. You're going to use your square marquee tool. It's just a square selection method right here, or M on your keyboard. And you're going to get a thin part of his hair like so. Command C to copy that part of his hair. And then you're going to hit Shift Command and V. and that pastes the selection we had on a new layer in the exact same place. So there's that red that we got in the exact same place. So we'll go ahead and do each one step by step. So I have my red one here. I'll name this red. And on the red layer, hit Command T. There's a little selection of it. But we're going to come up here. And this allows you to switch between free transform and warp modes quickly and easily. You could also right click on your selection, your free transform selection, go down to warp. But because the warp is used a lot in Photoshop, Photoshop has a kind of a quick and easy way to go to it from here. So click on that. Actually, sorry, before we do that, so click off that. We need to stretch this out. So Command T to get it to free transform. Hold your Shift button and then pull the red all the way out, like so. Okay. Now we can go to our, click here. Pull this back just a little bit. Click there for your warp tool. And now, yeah, let's warp it. So you're clicking on these handlebars here to pull and warp your selection out. So I'm just going to, I think, just kind of pull it up and out like that. Like so. And then hit return. Okay, so there's our first one. Let's go ahead and mask it appropriately. So let's create a mask there for this layer. And then let's just get a quick selection of our guy here. So hold your command button and click on the mask we have him from here. And that gets him selected. And we will get our black and just quickly paint it out of the hair like so. Command D. If you want, you can zoom in. Maybe get a slightly smaller brush, switch to white. And probably a soft brush, maybe lower the flow a little bit. And you can, if you really want to, you can kind of softly add it back in maybe a little bit. Maybe lower the flow a little bit more. There we go. Good enough. Okay, let's move on. Go back down to our guy. I'm going to do this green part. Get a selection, not like a big, kind of like a sliver, like so. And then Command Copy. And then Shift Command V. And it pastes it on a new layer. So I'll name this one green shirt. And then Command T for free transform. Hold your Shift button. Go ahead and pull it all the way out. And then hit Enter. And then Command T again. Come up here, switch to the warp. And let's warp this. Kind of like a flowing ribbon. There we go. That looks good. Now let's mask it. So command click on the mask we have of our guy and come up here to the green shirt, create our mask, but with Command I to invert it. And then if you want inside that mask, you can bring some of it back. Just paint it lightly there on his shirt. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. Now come back to our original here. And let's get a part of the yellow shirt. Probably there. Command copy, Shift, Command V, paste directly in place but on a new layer. Name that yellow. Command T, we're going to hold our Shift button to drag it all the way out. And I'm hitting Command 0 and then Command negative to kind of get back to where I can see, so I can pull it all the way. There we are. So Command T again real quick, and I'm going to switch to the warp and figure out how I want to do this. And this is kind of the fun part. All right, this is where you're playing with the composition, trying to create something that looks pretty cool. All of these, this is just like the pen tool. These handles control curves, and you can click on the anchor points themselves to bend and move them. There we go. Hit enter. Now this one looks pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to mask this. It kind of went very nicely and cleanly and looks pretty good. So I won't worry about masking that. I found a part of his leg here. So I'm going to click back on that and get a hard brush and paint white. Oh, flow. There we go. Just wondering what was going on. All right. Now the final part, his shoe. Click, make sure I'm not in the mask, but back here. M for my marquee tool. And there we go. Command C to copy it. Shift Command V to paste it in front, but on a whole new layer. And I'll name it shoe. Okay. So now Command T, get our selection of it. I'm going to hit Command 0 to put everything back within view. Command negative, hold my shift button, and now pull the shoe all the way out. Hit enter. Command T, switch to warp, and let's see how we want to warp the shoe now. Maybe I'll go a little bit more drastic with it. Like so. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe let's see if I can't do a little bit more here. And if you do it twice, so I do it once, you could always free transform and go to the warp again and get a little bit more. There we go. Ability to warp it and to contort it a little bit more. So I could go to any one of these. So this yellow one, I already warped it once. Well, maybe warping it again will do some good. So Command T, go back to there, and now I have a whole new box. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. And let's do that with the green shirt as well. There we go. Yeah, we'll hit enter there. So I'll have to remask it. I already masked that one. So let's just delete this mask. There we go. And we'll redo that real quick. So Command, select our guy, and mask it out, but I want the inverse of it. So that looks good. And I like the shoe as well. I don't have to mask anything on the shoe or that. So there we go. Next stage, I'm going to go ahead and throw all of these into a group. Create a new layer. And I'm going to clip this into that group. We're going to name this Shadows. Name this Twists. Now, I can't just command click this So I'm going to keep these twists. I'm going to duplicate this, Command J, this group here. So I'll hide this one, keep it there in case I decided or would need to change the twist at all. But I'm going to right click on this one and I'm going to merge it all together as a group. So now I can clip my shadows into that, and I can command click on the twists and get a selection of them all very easily. And now I can go to my black and click in my shadows, make it kind of a larger brush, make it a soft brush, turn the flow down like this 10. And now I can start to think, where do I want to put some of these shadows at? Some there. Some there. That's probably too much. And get my lasso tool, hold my negative option, because I think I want to get rid of this from my selection right here. And also I want to get rid of all of this real quick. So you'll still need to use your lasso tool, hold your negative, or come up here to the minus or the add. I'm gonna get my brush, and now I can just paint right here to add some shadows without worrying that I'm gonna add to this strip right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my eraser tool. I don't like it right here. There we go. All right, so the process then, right? So this is pretty good. I like how it goes right there. The process would be to refine this even more, where I'm putting my shadows, and maybe lowering the opacity until I get just the right look. So I think I would command click here, get my lasso tool out, get my negative, get rid of that, maybe get rid of this. I think I'd want to put this area back in though. Okay. And I actually want to do the inverse of that. So I'm going to hit inverse, get my black back out, and paint kind of a shadow within this crevasse here. Maybe a little bit darker. There we go. Alright, so Command D. And I would want to re-go over this. Right? Like right here, get a little bit better selection, because I want kind of going where this brown part is. So I would need to end up, can't quite do it with my hands so well, so I would get my pen tool, make sure it's set to path, and I would create a better selection here. So just to show you guys what I would do. There. That's pretty good down there. And come up here. Finish it off. And then Command Enter, get my brush back, and include this areas. There we go. All right, and then of course I would want to make sure I don't want this red part a part of it. Okay, and I would clean that up as well. But you get the idea, right? So there we go. There's another nice shadow. And I would go around fixing areas, like I need to fix it right here a little bit, create a better selection. But you get the idea of what I expect for you guys to do at higher level in terms of the shadows. And that is it for how to do this checkpoint.